All right, let's move on to our final receiver, Adam Thielen. And you've got some good headlines, but I've got a better one. And it's also not just a headline. I want you to answer this headline.
Yes.
And my headline for this would be: is it possible for someone? Now, this could be a woman or a man you're interested in. This could be like a meal. This could be
What is this?
a fantasy football player. Is it possible for someone to be so unsexy that they're sexy?
Yes, of course. And that would be Adam Thielen, folks.
Because he's so unsexy. He's
Oh,
so
no,
unsexy.
yeah. And I think that's why you go so late is because it's what we say it all the time. No one's going to hoot and holler when you take Adam Thielen. Oh, man, I was so excited to take Adam Thielen. Damn it. You really, because that's what we live for. Half of why we do fantasy is to make that pick that everyone in the room's like, no, you took my sexy sleeper of the year. That's never going to be Adam Thielen. He's not getting the reactions for you. No one's going nuts because you took Adam Thielen off the board, but they should be. I really think you could have a fantasy.
Go ahead.
And you know what? That's what I'm starting to live for is those guys that everyone should have hooted all for. In fact, they might make fun of you for taking Adam Thielen. Oh, good one, Wolf. Nice job. Adam Thielen, what was that, 7 years ago? But then at the end of the year, you could say, hey, let's look back and see what this guy did. And I really think Adam Thielen could do some sexy things this year in Carolina. Last year wasn't great. I'll be the first to admit that. Wide receiver 31, though, like honestly, that's not even that bad. It wasn't a great year, but 6 touchdowns, not great. 69 catches, not great. Still a top 36 receiver, a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 45 in points per game. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. It wasn't a great year, especially if you paid around 7 or 8 price for him last year. But the good thing is you don't have to pay that this year. He's going around 140, and I think he could bounce back in a big way. Maybe he's cooked and he is done. That could be it. But maybe it was just the rise of alpha Justin Jefferson, who we're all declaring is the clear-cut number 1 receiver in the league and in fantasy. Maybe that impacted Adam Thielen a little bit. That's the side I am leaning on, at least with my projections right now. There's lots of talk from Thielen coming out and saying, I can't wait to prove my doubters wrong. I can't wait to prove I still have it, that he's loving the fresh start, that he can really grow and help this rookie quarterback. And it's an exciting quarterback in Bryce Young, one of the more exciting young passers to come in the league in the last couple of years, in my opinion. And all the reports are he's leaning on Adam Thielen in early practices as this dependable, he's got a 70% or better catch rate in 2 of his last 3 years. He's never been below 65% catch rate. That's who the rookies end up looking for. And oftentimes rookies will just lock in on those guys. They know they're not going to get dropped, and they just want to go to the guy that's getting the layup, easy targets for him. I could see that being the role for Adam Thielen, who's been an elite touchdown scorer throughout his career. You look at his last 4 seasons, 16%, 19%, 15%, and 9% of his catches have gone for touchdowns, and he's been top 10 in receiving touchdowns in 3 of his last 5 seasons. And beat writers have talked about how in camp it was very clear, not camp, OTAs rather, that he's been that layup touchdown type of guy. They really, really worked in the red zone, getting off the line, using that body. It sounds like Bryce Young was just looking for him early and often, and that's just it's one thing for to be in spring practice and they're in shorts. It's another thing that Adam Thielen's just done that his entire career. So I really, really like that. I don't know that he'll be a true target hog. I'm going for 21% share and leading the team in that. That means 128 targets. But with a guy that catches the ball as well as he does, with a guy that gets as open as he does in the red zone, I think that could end up being 128 targets, 87 catches, 974-ish yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's good for wide receiver 23 in PPR and wide receiver 26.5. Maybe I'm crazy and I know it's unsexy, but he doesn't even have to come close to those numbers and he'd still be a good value at 140. And honestly, I don't see it. Is it DJ Chark? Is it Mingo? Does nobody truly valuable at all here? Maybe. Right. I really think Thielen's just going to be that really trusted security blanket for this rookie quarterback and end up putting up some really solid stats because of it.
So my instinct on this would be not that these other guys would surpass him. I think that the odds, it's going to be either what you're saying, whereas he becomes a security blanket, puts up totally solid numbers, does his thing, is surprisingly sexy when you didn't see it coming, or like none of these guys are really going to produce. I think that's I don't see the other guys like alpha dogging him. I agree with you that I could see none of them doing anything, but I could also see him doing what you're saying. I think it's a compelling case. Also, I think that we should probably have a shirt in the RSJ store that says "I'm so unsexy" or "so unsexy that
I'm sexy." Yeah.
It could either be referring to the person wearing the shirt, or it could have like an Adam Thielen or a Robert Woods or something like that.
Robert Woods. Yeah, he's a good one.
I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, you know what is sexy though? 3 years, $25 million. That's a pretty healthy contract right there for a guy that's not expected to do anything in fantasy. DJ Chark, who everybody seems a little bit more enamored with because he's younger, because he's more athletic. He only got 1 year and $5 million from the team. So they clearly tell you who they at least project to be their number one guy. He only lasted a week in free agency as soon as he got released from the Vikings. Frank Reich said, I've always wanted to work with this guy. So I'm very excited about him.
I mean, he has the pedigree. He certainly has the pedigree, much more so than a DJ Chark or anything like that. The question is he falling off a cliff? He's not a young guy, and we'll see. Because if he's anything like the guy he's been over the course of his career, that's a great deal. By all accounts, he's a great guy to have around and all that stuff. You know, he's not going to bring drama into the locker room or anything like that. So I'm pulling for him. I've always been a fan, and, you know, it's possible that he is so unsexy that he becomes sexy. We're going to find out, and I might be taking a stab at him in some of the late rounds, as I can tell you are too.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.